Are we on?
Yeah.
Well, really, in my recollection, I started remembering well before I was 4 years of age. I had some very handsome aunts, very handsome uncles, and a very proud grandmother. As I said, my grandfather passed away too young, but I had contact with him, but he was oftentimes too busy out in the woods doing work in his shop, building barrels, churns, whatever was required of him, or just simply cutting wood that other people bought. Wood was the fuel then. Very little coal at that time. But that all changed. But I never missed an opportunity when I had a chance to talk to elderly people. Some were amazed about my curiosity. I don't know why. I was curious about it, but I always had an interest in the facts in my background.
Did they ever talk to you about spiritual things?
Oh yes, very. Our people were really great believers that all forms of life, even the acts of nature, there were spiritual involvement. And universally, the Native American people had a tremendous reverence for the spiritual side of life. And in my growing up and all, I have lived through incidents that convinces me that there's more spiritual guidance out there if we had the ability to see it, grasp it, and utilize it. The conception that Native Americans were savages and had no interest. The greatest influence in our religious aspect of life, Tunkhannock and God Almighty are one and the same. The acceptance and concept of religious values was so comparable to Christianity that if you get into it, you will be amazed.
How were, in your culture, in Native culture, how were women treated?
Women were, for the most part, shown the greatest respect. And in the Iroquoian culture, mother, grandmother, mama, she ran the house. And she had a lot of influence and authority. All of our women worked very hard. My aunts were like men. They could pitch hay, carry corn, fill silo, plow, cultivate, plant, use an axe, work in the woods. One of my grandfather's incomes was firewood that was cut by crosscut saw, felled, trimmed, moved close to the steam-powered or kerosene-powered saw mills, buzz saws they used to call them, that cut the wood up into usable fireplace, furnace, stove size. It was a tremendous industry. But I repeat, I never missed a chance to listen to an elderly person. That's one of the things we were taught. Not that children are to be seen and not heard. This is not completely true. We were shown the reason and the respect to listen to elderly peoples. And when given a chance, ask a question, because we would be answered to the best of their ability and recall the answers to our questions. I still have a great respect for elderly Native Americans, but I have trouble finding anybody more elderly than I am. But I still listen, and some of them have, at a young age, have a much better concept of truth than people would ever imagine.
Now the modern world is interrupting here again. Turn this off so you can take that if you want to.